Hey guys, what's up and welcome back. This is Force from Force StarCraft 2 Strategy, your #1 location for step-by-step strategy and tutorial videos. We're going to be taking a look at the second half, or the second part rather, of my 2v2 Terran and Protoss strategy. Now in the Terran aspect of the video, we took a look at getting out fast siege tanks coupled with some Marines and a Viking for scouting out the high ground. Now taking a look at the Protoss part of this equation, we're going to be looking at getting out that 4 warp gate for a Stalker and Sentry push. It's basically what the mix, the army mix that we're going to be looking at here. So we're going to be starting off with our supply depot at 9, just concentrating on pumping out those probes early game. Nothing too exciting, to be honest. I don't know, it's kind of funny. I don't know what it is. It's something about Protoss that the very early game, really early game isn't really exciting. There's really not too much to talk about. I guess they do have the added bonus of Chrono Boost, so that's exciting. So we're looking right now at an exciting Chrono Boost on the Nexus here. Yeah, thrilling. I know. Anyways, moving up a probe here, we got our first pylon at 9. We're going to be getting another pylon at 11, or 12 rather. Close enough. Say 11 or 12, somewhere around there. Now this isn't standard by any means. The reason that we're doing this here is because we want to get that second pylon up to help this wall off. That's really the only reason. If we didn't have to do this wall off, we would have gotten a gateway before we got our second pylon here. But we are going to be going for that 14 gate, which isn't too abnormal. 14 gate is definitely a pretty solid strategy as far as build orders is concerned. But we did get that second pylon again beforehand, just to assist with this wall off, because I don't really want to build, as a Terran player, you don't really want to build more than 2 supply depots at the front wall, for a couple reasons, one of which being if you get hit and you're going to be losing supply depots, that may knock you back and put you below the supply cap, and that's not somewhere you want to be, obviously. So taking a look here, we're going to be getting a little bit of a scout here from our Protoss player, going to be giving us some insight as to what's going on in our opponent's base. Now back at the base, we did go ahead and drop that assimilator after we started building our first gateway. And so what we're going to do is, as soon as that first gateway is done building, we're going to be going ahead and getting our cybernetics core. And then after that point, we're going to be researching warp gate tech and getting a few more gateways. Now we're dropping a second gateway right after our cybernetics core. We had the extra minerals. We also are doing that so that we can help ward off any early game pressure. An important note here, I don't want anyone to be confused and think that you should go straight into games with these specific build orders, building this at 10, that at 12, this at 14, and not ever deviate from it. It's really important to note that you want to make sure that you are prepared for all possible situations, and that's kind of why I've been putting out these strategy videos. I'm kind of trying to show people different scenarios they could be facing and how to respond to them, and also show them popular build orders so you can know how to A, do them, and B, how to counter them, because that's really the important thing, knowing how to respond or how to counter to certain situations. So again, I went off on a little bit of a tangent, but the point being that we've got that second gateway because if we did get hit early, we'd want our Protoss player to be able to produce some units so we could help fend it off. If in the scouting we saw that they were going to be rushing, then he would be building some zealots and some stalkers to help fend it. But that wasn't the case, so we can just go ahead and continue with our normal build order. So again, just a quick overview. We got our first pylon at 9, second pylon at 11. We went ahead and got a gateway at 14. As the gateway was building, we got our first assimilator. Now after the gateway finishes, the second it's done finishing, you want to get your cybernetics core and start researching that warp gate tech right away. Before that warp gate tech comes out, you do want your 4 gateways up, and then from there you can just deviate, you can change things up. We're actually going to be getting blink stalkers in this specific example, so that is why we're really getting that second assimilator, because it's going to be really gas heavy. We're going to be planning on going heavy stalkers with blink. And basically what's going to happen is we're going to be moving out, but right before we hit is going to be when our blink is done being researched. So definitely very beneficial. That's part of what's known as a timing push, and moving out at an advantageous time for you when particular research or upgrades that you need are finished, and pushing out at that point. So warp gate research is just about done. Twilight Council has dropped right now, so we're going to start researching blink momentarily, and there it goes. Never mind, we're researching charge. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's going to cancel this. I'm pretty sure he didn't go for charge this game. This guy's making me eat my own words mid-cast. Really don't want to have to redo this. There we go, blink. Alright, much better. So blink stalkers. That would have been strange if he researched charge and got all stalkers. That wouldn't have really made too much sense. So he decides to change it up there mid-cast. Maybe it was a misclick. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. So we do have our 4 warp gates up now, and basically what we're going to be doing is spending them at the moment, but then stockpiling the resources for right before we hit. And it's also a good idea always to bring up a probe with you when you push out. That way you can make a proxy pylon and reinforce very quickly. And as you can see, there comes that probe. So again, just real quick overview of what we were looking at here. We got that pylon at 7, pylon at 11, gateway at 14, cybernetics core, and then start researching that warp gate tech right away. Go ahead and get your Twilight Council. Make sure you save up your chrono boost also for the warp gate tech and for the blink. You definitely want to be able to use those wisely so you can get those upgrades as fast as possible. Again, because we are trying to hit them at a very advantageous time for us. We're trying to hit them when our research is up and theirs isn't. And that's basically the goal. That's basically the idea. So moving forward, this is something that we saw in the last video. This push, nothing too different obviously is going to happen because it is the same game. I'm trying to find his probe here to see where he's going to be proxying. There's his probe. And now you're going to see he's going to drop at some point. He's going to be dropping a proxy pylon. And there it is. So he's going to be dropping the proxy pylon right there. And what that's going to allow us to do is warp in reinforcements close to where the action's going on. And that's very helpful. It's a great aspect of the Protoss army that you don't have to wait for reinforcements to run. Now, as a Terran player, I am building units, but I have to wait for them to run across the battlefield to join me. Once this pylon goes up, the Protoss player can just warp in the units here. And again, here's this engagement moving up with the siege tanks blinking across, trying to get in front of these siege tanks right here to prevent the devastation. But as you saw again in the last video, these siege tanks die fast. Apparently, this team does not like siege tanks in the least bit. Once that target fired them, and that's that. So yeah, this has been nothing too exciting going on up here. This has been the second half of that strategy video. The strategy is really good. It's a very strong early game timing push. As you can see, we were about 8:50 or 8:30 into the game, 8:30 to 9 into the game when we moved out with that push. In real time, that's about 7 minutes or so. So that's pretty early. 7 minutes. It's not like a super rush. It's not a crazy 6-pool. Double 6-pool or anything like that, which I do have a few videos of those. We were just screwing around when we were doing our placement matches. I might post those eventually just because they're hilarious. But yeah, so again guys, this has been for StarCraft 2 Strategy, your #1 location for step-by-step strategy and tutorial videos. Please stay tuned for more videos. Keep watching and keep owning.